and welcome to another Daily Digest video. I am Ross Merriam, and today I'm playing sort of a throwback to a deck that did really well in the old extended format at Pro Tour Amsterdam. This is a deck that won the tournament in the hands of Paul Rietzel. It's a nearly mono-white deck. There's a little bit of a red splash here with Sacred Foundry. There's some red cards on the sideboard. But essentially a white weenie deck, but one that gets a lot of value between Figure of Destiny, Knight of the White Orchid, Spectral Procession, other things. And I'm curious to see how well this card turns out, Aethersworn Canonist. It does a lot of neat stuff in Modern, shutting down Storm, obviously, shutting down Ad Nauseam combo, Snapcaster Mages, things like that. It's very good against Mishra's Bauble. No, I guess not. It's not Artifact, but I mean like cheap cantrips like that. I was thinking about like, Traverse the Ulvenwald. It's good against Serum Visions, things like that. But Bauble gets behind it. But we have a pretty good hand here with 2 lands, bunch of early plays. So I'm definitely going to keep. My opponent won the roll, so they're on the play, and we will see what they are up to. And Isle Basic. Okay, well, they might be Storms, so this Aethersworn Canonist could be great. Oh, suspends a Lotus Bloom, so it looks like they are Ad Nauseam. So Canonist is still great, so very happy to have it here. And I'm going to start out with Step Link. Actually, yeah. So I wouldn't level Figure next turn anyway, although maybe I should give my opponent less time to react to Canonist. I think either way, I think Steplink's turn 1 is best, and then turn 2 I can either Figure or Canonist, and then turn 3, presumably my opponent has made 3 land drops, I can Knight, play a 4th land, and then play Canonist or Figure, whichever I did play on turn 2, and it'll be great either way. Fortunately, Lotus Bloom also gets by Canonist, but it's not a big deal. Another sleight of hand here, and a Temple. Let's see if they left that on the bottom of the top. They bottomed. Perfect. Honor of the Pure. Interesting. That makes me more inclined to want to play Canonist, even though I definitely want to get Canonist into play before the bloom comes off, because that's when my opponent can combo. They can't combo next turn, but I think it's more pressure for me to Canonist into Knight plus Honor, and then just hold off on Figure for a little while. Honor will essentially be worth 2 power immediately, and the Figure will just be a 2/2, and I'll have 4 land. So if I draw a 5th land, I'll be able to double level it the next turn, just use all of my mana. I think it's better to just get the Canonist down here. So we'll attack for 2 and then give my opponent the bad news. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Phyrexian Unlife on my opponent's next turn, which will be annoying for us. Dealing 30 damage with an aggressive deck is tough, but all the more reason to want to get Honor of the Pure onto the battlefield as quickly as possible. Yep, there's the Unlife. My opponent did play a 3rd land, so definitely going to Knight here. And I don't think there's any reason to get a Sacred Foundry. We can just get a basic Plains. Bam, get a landfall trigger there. Oh, this was the reason not to. I'm already screwing this up. This is the reason not to Canonist on turn 2, because then I can't double spell with the Knight on turn 3. Well, get wrecked me. So let's just attack for 6. Yeah, I should have just held off on the Honor. I could have played Figure. I could have played Figure on 2, Knight into Canonist here, and then next turn played Honor, and then leveled Figure. Yeah, it would have been so much better. Okay, well, the good news is we have some. I guess we don't actually have a lot of time. Yeah, my opponent now can end step Ad Nauseam. Okay, I assume Spoils will be naming Ad Nauseam. They can end step ad nauseum here. They went to -1, revealing 13 cards. So that's actually good. If we can deal them 10 here. Oh, we're one short, aren't we? And we play a land and make our step links a 2. And then we play honor, and then we have 9. And that puts our opponent at 9 infect, 9 poison counters. And now that they can end step, cast ad nauseum, and then untap and kill us with the Canonist in play. But had we gotten this figure into play, we would have won. So I definitely punted this game. Yeah. I will not pay life, I guess. Yeah, if I just sequence correctly, I definitely win. I'd have the main deck hate and everything. Still couldn't do it. Well, I guess we can hope our opponent goes for a Lab Maniac kill. That's not really even possible with a 2/2 in play. They need to play spell after it, but Did they just concede? I'm so confused. SCG Blue wins? Why would that have been the case? Oh, they have City of Brass. 9 was just enough. Oh man. They needed to cast ad nauseum with, or cast Spoils of Vault with the City of Brass. So they screwed up too. Oh, that is great. Oh, just playing great on both sides. Wow. Okay then. Our sideboard is fairly poor for this matchup. I like Stony Silence. Because it will prevent a lot of my opponent's mana. Deflecting Palm and Burnt and Forge Tender both ostensibly stop the Lightning Storm from killing us, which is kind of cool. But Palm does it only from our hand, which makes it very vulnerable to Pact Negation. Burnt and Forge Tender is at least a creature, so that might just be worth bringing in, because I want to bring out all these paths. And I kind of also want to bring out... Oh, there's another Forge Tender here. I want to sort of bring out these Brave the Elements too. My opponent might be bringing in some answers to deal with, especially because they saw Aethersworn Canonist in game 1. So they could definitely bring in some answers. It's an artifact. I assume they have some way to kill them. So Brave could protect our creatures in that way. But I still don't think it's very good. I could leave in 1, or I could bring in a Rule of Law. Maybe 1 Brave is better than a Rule of Law. It still doesn't really stop them from comboing. And this doesn't apply any pressure where Canonist does. So I think I'm okay with leaving in 1 Brave and just bringing in these 5 cards. Not a great sideboard plan. I wish we had some enchantment removal to deal with Phyrexian on life, because our disruption deals pretty well with the other part of it, with Angel's Grace. So 5 lands and a step links. We do have a fetch land to get this thing attacking for 4, but I still don't think this is enough pressure, even with a Mana Tithe for something early. I think I'd rather find something better on 6. This 6 is pretty good. We have the Mana Tithe again. We have some early creatures. Unfortunately, we have creatures that really want a lot of mana to level up. But once we find a second land, the Knight should get us a 3rd. So I'll keep this on 6 and just scry any non-land to the bottom. And we'll see what's up. Serum Visions, that's fine. Check out how they scry. can't believe the city of brass got him. Split the 2 on the scry. We hit the land. Perfect. And now I think my most likely play here is actually to student on 1, then level it once into mana tithe on 2, and then knight into figure on 3. And student is better on the first level than figure is, so let's lead with the student. Our opponent might be a little wise once they see us not level to 3, but what are you going to do? So many scries out of this deck. They scry to the bottom, and they've hit a Lotus Bloom. Okay. Well, let's... guess there's no point in taking the window for Mana Tithe down at all. Opponent could have a spoils on end step here. And we'll get in for 3. Oh, it's level... I have to get it to level 2. Oh, that's why this thing works that way. Man, I'm just all over the place today. Well, I still want to keep up Mana Tithe, but that just means I should have played figure. That would have also disguised our hand better. Oh no, they don't have a 3rd land either. Well, I guess it's time to slow play this. Maybe not though. I definitely want to Mana Tithe it and on life if that's what's coming down. So let's just get in for 3. And Yeah, I think I just need to be able to tag it on life. It's unlikely that they're going to be able to go off with Angel's Grace through Mana Tithe. But unlife is a lot more likely. Well, no unlife, so we look a little foolish. But I'm used to that at this point, so let's mush for 3 first, I guess. And I wonder if they're going to fire off a spoils at some point. Yeah. Knight of the White Orchid. Let's get a plains. Now we have more lands, and so figure I can level an end step and then untap and level it again for 3 mana, all while holding up Mana Tithe, and that lets me attack for 9, which is probably better. 9 is an awkward number though because it's not 1 swing post and on life. I mean, it sort of is if the city is relevant again, but I think we can find the 10th at some point. So I think I'll play figure. And there's got to be some action soon. Although my opponent's dead in 2 turns, but I assume the action will come this turn. But they can find a 4th land off the top here, and they have Angel's Grace ad nauseum, then that'll do it. But 3 white. Yeah, Angel's Grace is good. Are they just going for it? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Woo! Get him! Oh, no! They have the Simian Spirit Guide! Well, that'll do it then. I assume they'll find 3 SSGs and a land drop, too. We'll see how they sideboarded at least. If they have any sort of removal spells. They brought in the Lab Maniac kill. So far I really don't see anything else. They do have 1 Slaughter Pact, not surprised at that. Yep. Yeah, just the 1. Oh, do they have another SSG in their hand? Because they only revealed 2. But I assume they have the full 4 in their deck. If they brought one out, then that is... they can make a land drop anyway, but that would be nice to know. Hmm. Um... Hmm. I wonder if they'll show us. Probably not. Yeah, just exile 2 so far. I think they're just being careful here. You got to do a lot of weird control effing or controlling. I don't know. Not control F, but holding control to hold priority here. Yeah. Well, we're dead. Okay. Well, we don't really have any. We don't have. They just have the one Slaughter Pact that Brave the Elements protects from. I don't know if that is ever going to be worth it. But is it better than Rule of Law? Rule of Law just seems so... Ugh. It's 3 mana. I'm not going to bring it in. I just can't bring myself to do it. Interesting hand. We're going to be able to play Step Links and attack for 4 on turn 2, the Legend rule, and then Burnt and Forge Tender into Spectral Procession. BFT is not very good because they have the Lab Maniac kill in. So this is like okay pressure. I attack for 4, then 3, and then if I'm draw another land, then 6 on turn 4. And so I'm playing another procession, so I kill on turn 5 if I draw another land. Even if I don't draw another land, this is attack for 4, attack for 3, attack for 4, attack for 7. So that's 18, which is pretty close. If my opponent has any City of Brass, so turn 5 kill worth it? They basically have to have a Lotus, but I think this deck is going to be able to race a turn 5 kill if that's all we have. Now, can they turn 5 kill through without Lightning Storm? So they can also slow the game down if they just have it on life. So I think this is a mulligan. And this hand's a little bit better. We'll be able to actually play some stuff. I think we'll go figure on 1, student level figure on 2, and then we'll work from there. I think a 3rd land is good here, so let's keep that on top. And play a figure and pass a turn. Now we should have a similar kill as we had before, but we have a Canonist now, which makes it a little bit better. Bottom and bottom. That's great. Knew we were drawing that. And level. No, 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 not red. And mush for 2. Okay, another scry. Another bottom. These are all good signs. Wow, okay, they just have a lot of dig. They might just be looking for 1 piece then, which means any top is bad. They bottom top there. Gonna save this fetch in case I draw a Step Links, I guess. So our life total just doesn't matter. And I think I just want to get max pressure out with the Canonist. So Canonist is worth 2 extra damage next turn, maybe 3 with Honor, where Honor is worth 2 extra damage this turn. and it's potentially beneficial for us to hold the Canonist if we draw another spell to double spell. But we have ways to use our mana anyway. So why don't we just Canonist now and level here? Still won't be that big, but next turn it'll be a big one. Attack for 3, so then on this upcoming turn we'll have an attack for 10. And then, so we have them dead in 2 turns, and they don't have any extra mana, which is a big deal with Canonist. I guess that we could see, yeah, this could be the, yeah, Penthead Prism. I spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. So they're going to get to 6 mana next turn. They bottomed with the Temple. They're going to get to 6 mana, but they need to answer this Canonist. Or find a, you know what I'm talking about. The thing with all the other things. Find a Slaughter Pact. Okay, so, I didn't mean Slaughter Pact, God. Phyrexian Unlife. So, how can we best position ourselves against Unlife? That's the question here. It could be best to just level Figure and level here. That attacks for 9, so it's 1 less. That'll bring our opponent to 6. What's neat is that Student of Warfare at level 2 has First Strike, so it will deal its damage before the other creatures. We could potentially get our opponent 2-0 or less on First Strike and then kill them with the rest. I wonder if our best bet is to try to get Student to 7 and double strike it. So if we level it 4 times right now, then it's at 5. We'll only attack for 7 this turn. That brings our opponent to 8. No, that doesn't seem as good. What about 2 levels on Student, bring it to 3, and then play Honor, attack for 10, bring them to 5. Yeah, then we can level it up to 7. It'll be a 5/5 double strike. It'll bring our opponent to 0, and then we'll have 11 on top. So that's how we beat a Phyrexian Unlife. So just Honor plus sink all our mana into Student and forget about getting Figure big. Although if we got Figure with 6 mana, it could also be an 8/8 with First Strike. So we're looking pretty good here if our opponent doesn't have Slaughter Pact. I guess they can stall with Angel's Grace a little bit, but that doesn't seem like a winning tactic. And level. And attack. And we're in good shape. We'll shoot for 10. First strike, I have to click another button. Tilt. And a level again. I guess I do have enough mana to fully level next turn and bluff Mana Tithe, but I don't really see how that's helpful. If our opponent does kill Aethersworn Canonist, then we might need to do something else next turn. Well, that is definitely good for us. I think they're on the stall with Angel's Grace planned at this point. So, Serum Visions resolves. Looks like they just didn't quite find what they needed here. And they're still bottoming off all these scries. Here, trying to play another Penthead Prism. Looks like it. Yep. Okay. I guess at this point they could, so they're on 8 mana, they'll go down to 7, so they have another land drop, they'll have enough to do the thing. They'll have enough to unlife into Ad Nauseam immediately. They still need to deal with this Canonist. So yeah, I guess they're just digging for the 1 Slaughter Pact at this point. The Canonist might really get them. no real point in committing mana early when our opponent is lethaled. I assume they will go to 1. And, yep, here it comes. You are at 1 life. And, if our opponent kills Canonist, and then if they kill Canonist and have unlife, but don't have a land for the ad nauseam, how do we kill them? Unfortunately, if we make this a 4/4, then it'll be a 5/5 with honor, and then we can make a 5/5 double striker, so we're fine. I guess we'll just use our mana efficiently and level this. Level it some more. Level it some more. Level it some more. And 7. What do you got? I'm gonna be pretty sad if they slaughter pact here. They don't have any way to tutor for it. They're like the slaughter pact is mainly there to deal with things that would prevent lightning storm or something like that. Sure. So things that you can ad nauseam into and still cast. This actually stops them from ad nauseaming. Yeah, so they can't play any more spells. And at this point, I'm just going to, I guess we might as well play our land in case I have to double activate this figure. And now our opponent has to have Slaughter Pact and Angel's Grace. I guess they can. They have Angel's Grace here, but if they have Angel's Grace here, they'll stay at 1. They won't get any poison. They can then untap and cast Ad Nauseam, and then leave 1 card in their deck. Go down to 7. So the Angel's Grace here. Then use 3rd Angel's Grace. Discard down to 7. Use their 3rd Angel's Grace to survive, and then Slaughter Pact plus Lab Maniac kill. That might be what they do. That would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, if they end up doing that. Surprised that they tap the way they did if that's their plan. Oh no, they have the Slaughter Pact. But they're targeting. Well, they're targeting. This is awkward. Sure. Yeah, they have to do that to live, I guess. Now we bring them to -7. Next turn, we're going to be able to kill them. So that's good. But I'm not sure how we die in the meantime. Now Angel's Grace doesn't save them because they'll still get the infect counters. They just won't lose the game that turn, but they'll lose it immediately on their turn. So they're going to have to kill me on their turn without the Slaughter Pact. I guess they were just a mana short. Like they found the pact, but they couldn't pack the, because I had exactly 10 poison. They couldn't pack the Canonist. And they were a mana short from casting Ad Nauseam with the Unlife. I don't really see how they get out of this. We have a lot of damage. I mean, maybe they have a second slaughter pack that we just didn't see in the other game. They had 4 unknown cards at the end of game 2. One of them is presumably a Simian Spirit Guide. And I think they are seeing the writing on the wall here. I think we did just enough with our 5 spells. This is a 1-lander on 6 cards, right? We just drew lands for the entire game, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. It ended up being fine because you have plenty to do with our mana, which is one of the really nice parts about this deck, which is never flooded because of Student and Figure of Destiny. But sleight of hand. I don't think that is going to be good enough. Just a hunch. So as much as I bungled game 1, I think I played this game pretty well to just barely eke it out. Mush. Take 11. So that brings us down to 8, but we can just activate this Figure of Destiny, and that'll give us 12, and our opponent can no longer cast spells, so yeah, they just had to hope we didn't see it. Good thing I didn't just spew off and play the Spectral Procession for funsies, because that's definitely in my range. I mean, they had Wear Tear in their hand? I wonder if they could have killed Canonist. They would have only had 2 mana left over. Well, yeah. Even if they don't play Sleight of Hand, so maybe they slided into it. That seems likely. They slided and found a way that I could screw up. It's something I could miss. But and they could have tried to finagle Figure to not deal damage. Because the last mode has First Strike, and if they let this First Strike damage step happen, and I give this First Strike, I don't think it deals damage during the regular combat damage step, but they would have taken 3, blown up Honor, and then they would have taken 3, and then they could have blown up Honor and taken 6. So I think that might have gotten them there. I think I needed to actually activate this first, but deck was pretty cool. Hope you all enjoyed it, and you can come back and see me on Friday. Bye.